So this new GameSpot article about Genshin Impact just dropped, and I'm not usually one to read about articles, but this one is, I think it's especially important since it pretty much declares the intent of the developers of Genshin Impact for their on their plans for the future of the game. And when I gave it a read, honestly, it made my heart sink. Probably one of the most heartbreaking articles that I've ever read. And today, I wanna give my thoughts about it. So the title is Genshin Impact developers talk endgame content and welcoming newcomers. I already read this before, so we'll just skip over to the important point. We asked about endgame content, wrestling caps, costumes, and more. In their responses, developers touch on what's currently being worked on, as well as potential ideas for future updates. Right. So these are like the questions. Version 3.0, 3.1 expected to be 1 week shorter. Yes, we already know this. They recently declared that their patch span per patch will be shorter. Rather than 6 weeks, it'll be about 5 weeks. So we already know about this, and this is the crux of this article, the thing that is the most controversial, I gotta say. Currently, the Spiral Abyss is the only true endgame content for players at high adventure ranks. Are there any plans to release new, permanent endgame content in the same vein as Spiral Abyss? Well, here's the answer. The Spiral Abyss is one of the most effective ways for players to test out their ability, their party composition and combat strength. If we design another type of permanent endgame that is similar to the Spiral Abyss, it might end up creating excessive anxiety for our players. Not everyone is interested in Must Reef. Just like the Genius Invocation TCG that we unveiled of a special program for version 3.2, we are also working on designing more interesting gameplay in the future. As an open world game, Genshin Impact has a natural compatibility with various types of gameplay, which gives us confidence in the long-term operation. Right, so here it is. As we all know, the only in-game content that we currently have would be the Spiral Abyss. That is the end all test your party compositions and min-maxing stuff, basically in-game content. But this right here, they basically said that they're not going to add more endgame content because it might end up creating excessive anxiety for our players. Now, I'm not really sure what they mean by excessive anxiety for our players, because I guess that means that more players in Genshin Impact are casuals rather than hardcore endgame min-maxing kind of players. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they would create excessive anxiety, because, well, if people they already said this. Genshin Impact has a natural compatibility with various types of gameplay, which gives us confidence in long-term operation. So basically, this says that Genshin Impact is much more suitable for casual play, right? But it doesn't mean that I myself, as a day one player who already has a lot of characters basically, and all of them are pretty much built with decent artifacts, which is enough to clear Spiral Abyss with 36 stars, and those other kinds of players, it doesn't mean that they don't get to have any other endgame content. They're not mutually exclusive. I mean, if the casual players do not want to do Spiral Abyss, I get it. Like, a lot of casual players I've met and talked to have actually have anxiety about doing Spiral Abyss. Spiral Abyss actually scares them because it's way too difficult for them. That's fine. I mean, they're not required to do that, and the amount of Primo Gems that the Spiral Abyss gives is, well, if you clear it in like 36 stars, it's only like 600 Primo Gems, which is already pretty much covered in events and mini events throughout the patch. It's not a requirement, and that's why I'm not really sure why why adding another piece of endgame content would create excessive anxiety for the casual players. Maybe I don't know. This is just me. Maybe, to be fair, these players have already have anxiety against Spiral Abyss. These players are already scared of Spiral Abyss, and I guess they mean that they don't want them to make them more bewildered by some other kind of endgame content. Maybe, I'm not sure, but again, it's not a requirement. So I don't know what they're getting at here. And what's with this yet? Not everyone is interested in the Must Reef. Well, the Must Reef is where the Spiral Abyss is located, right? But what does that have to do with endgame content? I mean, endgame content could pretty much be everywhere. It baffles me. All right, so that's like the major part out of the way. Let's move on. There are some other questions that actually makes me sad. Genshin Impact is going to year 2 with ever-expanding roster. Some older characters might get left behind. Yeah, power creep, basically. Was the answer about that. If a character is only assessed by a single dimension of numerical strength, power creep could indeed be an issue. However, in the Genshin Impact, the rule of gameplay, even more impactful how strong a character is. Well, basically, every content requires a different kind of team comps and all that stuff. So they're saying that team comps are much more important than characters. A singular character strength. Well, that's I agree, and since Genshin Impact is geared towards more casual play, I usually encourage my viewers to play whoever they want, because Genshin Impact at the end of the day is a casual game. But again, going back to the point where there will be no more endgame content because they will be anxiety inducing, those casual players do not need to play the endgame content. It's just for, you know, the people who are ready, the people who already min-max their characters, already triple crown, or already have like the best artifacts ever and have the best loadout, team comps, whatever. If we don't have some sort of, well, Spiral Abyss endgame content, but if we don't have more of those, I don't see the point of us min-maxing our characters. There are some of us who are not casuals that like to min-max character through the best gears and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and this one. The introduction of Dendro has created plenty of new ways to cause elemental reactions, true, but some elements have been left out, exactly. There's Cryo. Cryo has been left out. Cryo is basically not invited third party, so they came cock in hand and everyone just said, "You're not invited," and then they went limp. Has there been any discussion regarding the addition of new reactions for existing elements? For example, in the future, could there be a new Geo and Dendro reaction? Well, I don't know about Geo and Dendro. Has there been like a Dendro shield crystallized? And I'm not sure. But the answer for that is we have no such plans for the time being. With the release of the Dendro element, the 7-element system has become somewhat complex. For us, there are other ways to increase the fun for players rather than simply increasing the complexity of the game rules. Oh boy, other ways to increase the fun of players. Yeah, this is another one of Hoyoverse saying that they want to pander more to the casual player base rather than the ones that the one that has fun with fun new reactions. Don't get me wrong, the new Dendro reactions are fun as heck. They are such a joy to play around, but we want more. A game has to evolve. If they keep like pandering to casual players with simple rules, with simple rules, and they don't want to like change it up, they don't want to evolve, that's gonna be like, that sounds like a death of a game. Alright, what's that? This one. New players may have been a bit lost when starting the Summertime Odyssey event because they missed Fischl and Mona's first introductions. This also happened when Scaramouche showed up in Inazuma's Archon quest after appearing in the limited time Mondstadt event. Is the team considering adding a way for new players to see or replay old story-related content and cutscenes that only existed in past limited time events? This is what has been bothering me since the beginning. I'm a day one player, so this doesn't affect me since I've been logged in to this game like every day, finish every event, finish every story and whatnot. But for newer players who join midway, they don't get to experience the story. They don't get to experience the story in its entirety, so they get confused when they see a character that we're supposed to have met before, and then the character already knowing about it. They're confused, and there are also some exclusive rewards that are only available on the limited time events that to this day doesn't have a rerun. And I ask this: is it more anxiety? One is more anxiety inducing? The addition of new endgame content, or missing out on a limited time event, knowing that it will never come back? Answer that, Hoyoverse. And the answer for that is, we're aware of this issue and are looking into solution for it. PR speak. On one hand, stories from limited time events shall never become barriers to understanding and playing our conquests. Hard disagree, because, well, okay, they said our conquest. I guess I don't really disagree, but some limited time quests have introductions of characters that are pivotal to the Archon quest, like Scaramouche. Okay. On the other hand, we're also working on the beginner tutorial adjustments, client capacity optimization, intelligent management of past content, and other optimizations. That's super vague. Well, I get that they are not at liberty to reveal in too deep, so I kind of understand there. And as our technology and capacity grow, we hope to have useful solutions for the player welcome. Right. Well, there's costumes that were added to the game last year, stylish new looks, the Traveler, yeah, the costume for the Traveler. I've been wondering about that too, so the answer would be, it is an intriguing idea to design outfits and accessories with regional characteristics for a Traveler. We don't have anything to share on that front, but we're always considering new ideas, so basically no plans. Absolutely no plans for a Traveler to have a costume. Despite some promotional art that feature the Traveler have different costumes. Follow-up, fun little accessories, yeah. We've been discussing, no plans, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So what are my final thoughts on this? Well, honestly, I'm super disappointed. I have been playing all this time for 2 years without quitting, well, I guess there has been some cases that I semi quit, basically just logging in every day, just doing commissions on dead weeks. But I'm very sad. I have been expecting Hoyoverse to come up with uh, some sort of endgame stuff, you know, like increasing the level limit and just, you know, endgame dungeons that we can do co-op, or maybe, you know, raids like a real MMO. You know, optimize the co-op experience. You know, as of now, co-op is just, it's really just a way to meet people and just have fun, just trying to beat bosses that we can easily beat on our own. So up until today, and it's still going, it's there's still no reason to co-op other than just to, you know, meet new people. And I personally, I was hoping something like, yeah, more dungeons and raids. Raids is just amazing. It's just, I think it's like a staple for MMORPG to have like co-op raids. But yeah, it looks like that's not happening, and they will continue to cater more to the casual players, as they say, while the casual players who join later, they have no plans on making a rerun on limited time events, so they miss out on a lot. I myself have been playing this game without any breaks or any hiatus, exactly because of the fear of missing out, FOMO. And seeing this, well, honestly, it made my heart sink. It actually demotivates me to play the game. I feel like I don't have anything to look forward to anymore. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. This is just my opinion, though. So take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not. I'm just saying however I feel about the situation. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's all for today, folks, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.